You wanna get it, man? Get your tail, it's a different lane. When you playing for the winning team, RP to Mr. Wayne's. Bang, bang, we gon' win the game. Cord crank, hit you with your pain.
I be spitting real, be spitting backwash, yeah. So I'ma have to ask you all to back off. Hitters in my DMs try to hit me with the caps lock. Cause I'm always beastin' on the camera like the Sasquatch. Waiting till I blow, y'all gon' see me blast off, yeah. And y'all gon' see in front like the...
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to For the Love of Details. I am Kristi, and I am so glad to see you guys all here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and just bring in my very special guest who has been on the show before. I've talked about him quite a bit. And without further ado, let's bring on the legend.
Wow. Legend.
Jeff Franklin, Improved
Am
Garage.
I the first person to get 2 chances to be on the podcast?
You know what? I think you might be now that you
Wow.
say that. Ooh, right? How are you tonight, Jeff?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, I'm doing good. I had a training all day today, and so I'm a little
Are y'all
worn out
trained
from
up?
that. Yeah, my brain hurts a little bit, but I'm excited to be here. I know you are dealing with the possibility of maybe an
Fire.
evacuation. You have a fire
Yeah.
going on. How's that? I mean, obviously, how's that? That's not cool.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, it's kind of weird. It's the closest that a fire has ever been to us. It's at, I don't know, 75,000 acres or some crazy number at this point. I think I'm probably okay because 3 sides of it are forest and 1 side of it is people, and I'm on the people side. So I would think that if they're going to make a stand, they're going to make a stand on the people side. But
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure the people in the Palisades fire thought the same thing. So I
Yeah.
just, who knows? But
Yeah.
they added 2
We're
more.
praying for you anyway.
They added 2 more evacuation zones today, and the closest one is like 7 miles from us. So I don't know. We'll see. But
Good.
insurance
Well,
is paid up. Say that.
well, hopefully it stays far away. I
Yeah,
can't
I hope
imagine
so.
you having to evacuate. That would just be awful. But my prayers go out to anybody who might be affected. I know that there's a couple of fires going on right now. I think there's one like in Arizona. There's a few that are causing,
Mhm.
a lot of damage all over the place. So again, thinking about anybody who could be affected, and hopefully everybody stays safe, including you, Jeff.
Yeah.
So let's kind of get into it tonight, man. If you guys have been following me at all the last couple Mondays or even the last couple months, I think I have kind of talked about Improved Garage coming to my home to help me do just that. Improve my garage. And you guys, guess what? Jeff was just here this last weekend. He came on Saturday. He did have to leave again a little abruptly because of the fire and just the fact that it's so close to home. But we did get some stuff done before we left. Jeff, thank you again for coming to my house and literally giving me a hand. You guys, he got up in my garage and everything. So what I'm going to do, to kind of just get it started is I'm going to play just a video. It's a silent video in the background while we are kind of discussing. That's just kind of showing what Jeff has done to my garage. But I guess before we do that, let's just kind of talk about it. What was Jeff's vision? What did he bring for me, and how did we start to get it underway? So, Jeff, what was your vision for my garage as we've been discussing the things I needed?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have, a budget. Everybody's got a budget, and your budget is small.
Little.
I don't want to say small, but
That's
it's
great to say it.
you're a single mom with 4 kids, right? So you've got other things that are priorities, but it seems like over the last couple months, I've seen that you've kind of struggled to get videos done because you have other things that are going on, because you don't have good lighting in your garage, because it's a bit of an ordeal to kind of get everything out and get it set up so that you can film your video, right?
Yeah.
Doing the thing takes 15 minutes, but doing it on camera is like 3 hours, right? Every single thing we do is that way. So my goal was to try to make it easier for you to kind of wash and put away stuff, and then also to give you some better lighting so that during the school year, especially when it starts getting darker earlier, you can maybe go out, in your garage after the kids are in bed and, spend a little bit of time out there and do a couple other things, right?
Yeah.
And then, also you have a lot of chemicals, so helping out with some of that stuff too was part of it also, right?
Yes, and if anybody saw on Secondhand Detailing, Jeff has already posted the plethora of chemicals, and I love that he just said he helped a friend in desperate need.
I didn't want to call you out and say who it was, but
Yeah, but if you're in need of some chemicals, Jeff has just what you need.
150 bottles is what came home.
How many?
156.
156 bottles.
And that wasn't even all of it. I know
You
there was
guys.
other stuff that you wanted to give away, but my car was just filled. My SUV was just filled.
Yeah, that was literally like one side of my garage. And I'm not, let's see, I don't pretend to be like proud to say that because it's a little obsessive, you guys. I have an issue. I really do. But, it's kind of funny. I've kind of positioned my garage where there's one side where it's stuff that, I'm readily wanting to test and I'm really interested. And then another side just kind of became that holding spot for those things that I've purchased, but haven't, maybe I didn't get to, or I just wasn't so interested in, but I wanted, I still wanted to try it maybe in the future. I don't know. It kind of turned into a half and half situation. So,
well, I think you have a lot of people that send you stuff, for whatever. I liked this, why don't you try it out? That kind of stuff too. So, if you're only doing you only have one car, you have your daughter's car, so maybe two cars, maybe your parents' car, something like that. You have maybe three cars that come and go. It's like, it's hard to go through all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. So Secondhand Detailing, right? This is a Facebook group that exists. If you're not a part of it, you just go to Facebook and search for Secondhand Detailing, 3 words. And there's a lot of people that sell used stuff on there, right? So a lot of the people that are in the chat here, Adamo actually created a version for Canada. So there's a Canada version as well. I know Carson's in there and a couple other people that are up in Canada. So normally what I do is I have this formula where it's like, what was the retail of this product? How much is left? And then I sell it for kind of half of what retail would be times whatever volume is left. So if it's, 75% full, it's half of 75% of the original number. So if I sold
correct, right?
Yes. If I sold everything that I picked up for what it should sell for, given that formula, how much do you think that is?
I think you asked me this question and I
did, but you didn't have an answer. So I figured I'd ask you like live.
Yeah. I was trying to calculate, to be honest with you, like the amount that I spent on those bottles.
Oh, I know that number too.
Like less the, percentage that's gone. Honestly, okay. Can I just, let me shout out a number. Like, you know what? I'm going to say 1,000.
It's actually higher than that.
Seriously?
Yeah. 12. The number is technically 1237.
Wow.
If that, and that would be not what you spent, but what the sale price would be.
Yes. Yes. So double that to be what
spent is 2,700 because that's assuming that all the bottles are full, right?
Well,
now that being said, I know there are some things that we get 20% off of something because DIY is doing a sale or Thor is doing a sale or those types of things happen. Oftentimes we'll spend enough to get free shipping and all of that. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff there from a variety of brands, and about a third of it I'm going to buy. Just for myself, because there's brands that I've never tested, like, Starner Gloss is a good example. Detail Firm, another good example. Jack's Wax, another good example. Just lines that I was interested in, and almost everything was opened and tried at some point. There are some things that are still 100%, but usually that's because you have doubles, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you will end up getting a bunch of money back, which is kind of cool, and you can reinvest in whatever else you want. Maybe more chemicals.
Maybe. And Rick, that your mentality right there is pretty much my mentality. At any point, if it weren't for Jeff, I probably would just give it all away and not make $1 back. Jeff kind of, is helping me to see the worth of, what I have in my garage, which is kind of cool. And yes, that extra money will not hurt me in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But I definitely do still have things that I will be sending to Aaron. I mean, it's not, ask Jeff, like my garage is not empty. Like,
Oh my God, no. I don't even know that we
uh,
got half of it, truly.
I don't know. But I definitely gave him the things that I knew I wasn't going to use or get to in any near future. That was literally just kind of, it's overwhelming me. So the whole point of it is, I go into my garage because that's my peace. It's my safe space. It's like where I go to unwind. And
Right.
after a while, I started realizing that I was no longer peaceful in there, that I was overwhelmed and anxious. And that really
Mhm.
defeats the purpose of why I do what I do when it comes to detailing and product reviews and doing all of this. So I knew it was time to do something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put up on the stage here. And again, this is silent. There's no volume because I knew we were going to be having a conversation, but it's just kind of a look at what Jeff is doing. And Jeff can help me kind of talk, through this. So this wall was filled with chemicals.
Yeah. So
Lots
there were
of
shelves
them.
there with a whole pile of stuff that we loaded into my car, my SUV. And then what we're doing here, so it's a drywall wall, right? And behind it there are studs, and the studs are normally 16 inches apart or 24 inches apart, but usually, like in this case, it's 16. So what we're trying to do is we're putting a piece of board, in this case 3/4 inch plywood, to span those studs to give us a place to mount your reel and to give us a place to mount your pressure washer. And under ideal circumstances, this is something that gets planned for when you're like building the garage, right? So you would put wood behind the wall, behind the drywall, but it's a rental and you're not going to be there forever. And,
Yes.
cutting open somebody's drywall and doing a whole bunch of work there, it doesn't always make sense. But if we put up a piece of backboard like this and, kind of go through, make it level and, install the reel and everything there, you end up with a sturdy spot that you can mount everything, and it still, kind of looks good. So
Yeah. And to be honest with you, as simple as something like that is, just a piece of plywood, I kind of was mad at myself when I first saw that you brought this in because
Mhm.
I was thinking, why didn't I think of that? Like,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the thing that I think is, cool to talk about is,
Mhm.
some of these things, being resourceful, it's not hard to do. It's just
Right.
doing it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just getting it done. So I was
Yeah.
appreciative of this.
And anybody that saw me cover up that metal electrical box that's in the wall, that box is pre-wire, doesn't have anything in it. So don't call me out in the chat. It's pre-wire for solar, which her house doesn't have. So it's just a feed for like conduit to go into.
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah.
So here we mounted a Cox reel. This is like the standard Cox 112 100-foot wheel. We did it in black, gloss black, because that was the color combination that you wanted. And I like this reel. I think that it works really well. I've owned it now for 5 years personally. I've had zero issues with it. I've never even had to rebuild the darn thing. It just works really well. There are other companies that make them like MTM and some others, but we just did the Cox in this case.
Yeah.
And then the hose is a Cobra Jet hose. This is the original Cobra Jet hose, which is gray. And again, more color combination, right? You didn't want the blue, you wanted the black and gray and that color to kind of match your active, right?
Yeah.
So getting this mounted into the reel is fairly easy. These fittings are kind of tight to begin with, but you can, get them off and get it bolted in there.
And some people are asking why we covered the outlet. So again, it was pre-wired for solar, but there was no wiring in there. So
yeah, I think Adamo's just trying to be
but
slick to answer you in case Adamo was joking, but yeah, exactly. It was a blank cover. Even the one that's there on the right is a blank. That's for a future electric car charger, but there's nothing in it. It's just conduit. It's an open metal box.
Yeah. We playing. They said we playing.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad you're playing. Yeah. So, and honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. During this whole time, I'm sitting there trying to organize, but I'm also just like sitting here watching Jeff, and I kept thinking, like, what am I doing? Like, Jeff, what can I do? I'm literally doing nothing. I kind of felt like I should have been doing more, but it was kind of interesting just to watch, and I kind of did want to see how this all came together. So that if I ever had to do it again, if I ever moved or, got a new garage and was doing this setup, I feel like I might have a better idea of how to set it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely easy
You
once
know,
you've done it. But at first, trying to figure it all out, like there's a swivel end and a non-swivel end. And
Yeah.
knowing like the swivel end goes into the reel so that you don't have to flip the hose over a dozen times, that
Yeah.
really helps. Yeah, I saw that David, they
Oh,
released
thank
it
you.
after we had already bought this.
Yeah.
I think she's had this at her house since like April.
Yeah, it's been a while, just sitting in boxes.
It was before the first time I was on your podcast, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was. Like I said, this has been a long time coming. It was kind of hard during the school year. Obviously, things are really hectic. Yes, Adamo, I think it was April or even before. Actually, I really think it was before that.
It might have been.
Yeah. I knew that this wasn't going to happen until the summertime because obviously I'm off. I'm not in school. And again, Jeff is busy. He does
I
have
can
a
only
job.
really do weekends because I
So,
have a job during the week. Kristi, during the summertime, I think you have more time on the week than you do on the weekends because your kids play sports and all that stuff. Conway, we did 100-foot hose. She probably didn't need 100. A 75 would have worked, but I didn't know what wall the reel was going to go on.
yeah.
So I didn't want it to be too short because her garage is like 25 feet deep, 28 feet deep, something like that.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I was trying to tell Jeff, sometimes I think my garage looks a little bigger when I'm filming, if, like the background or just with the amount of stuff people see in it. Ask Jeff, it really is limited in space. Like when you have a car that you drive into the garage and then you're still utilizing it for things like Christmas decorations and, other DIY things. I mean, it's not just a detailing garage. It is a home garage.
Yeah.
So space is really limited.
So here, this is a stainless steel shelf. This is from OG. Again, OG came out with they have the black shelves, which actually probably would have fit really well here and it would have been slightly less expensive, but they weren't available when we placed the original order, so this is the stainless steel OG. It's an 18 by 8. And then we're going to put the active 2.0 on it. It's a 3/8 Cobra Jet and it's a single wire braided Conway.
Yeah. And Chingy, yes, it is the Cobra Jet.
Yep.
Yeah.
MTM Veloci, the original Cobra Jet.
Yeah.
So then, here just kind of laying everything out, getting the leader hose connected. Again, there's like a swivel end on this and a non-swivel end, and you put the QD on the non-swivel end. So this hose is a little long. That's one thing that like we didn't really size out right. I had this spare 3-footer from when I did my new pressure washer. So I just donated it to the cause. But, that's something that like I would probably personally change at some point, is just get like a 2-foot hose in black.
Yeah, because it's blue. It's blue, so it doesn't match. But the one we had was much longer and just.
Yeah, I had a black one, but it was like 6 feet long.
Yeah.
So we shortened the cord, which everybody, whatever. But it's out of warranty at this point, so shortening the cord isn't a big deal. Yeah. And then these are lights. So these are the original Obsessed Garage fixtures. So they're made by Prime Lights. And they're from Texas, or they're made in Texas. So you order from OG, but they ship from Texas. And they're a 4-foot fixture. They have 4 bulbs apiece. And they're 18,000 lumens, something like that. And yeah, Keith, I am sweating much. It was like 105 there when I was doing this.
I'm saying at this point,
right now, at this point of the video, I had already been up in the attic for a while at 105. So yeah.
And I did tell him, where he lives, he doesn't even have an air conditioner, guys, because he just doesn't need one. He lives literally how many miles from the ocean?
7 or 8, something like that. I mean, it's
10, so
it's 70 and sunny, probably 325 days a year here.
Yeah,
something like that. Like our weather is some of the best weather in the entire country. But these are the 4 bulb fixtures, just kind of putting them together. We ended up doing 3 of them in like a horseshoe pattern around the front of our car. And just so everybody knows, there will be like a full video with audio and all that stuff on my channel. That'll be more, we'll say, uncut. That'll have, more of the process stuff like I do. So if you're interested in
Sorry.
Wow. Yeah, I have good weather. I mean, but there's good and bad to everything, right? Like I
Yeah.
miss the snow. I used to live in Pennsylvania. I was
Yeah.
there until I was 26, and I miss the snow, right?
Yeah.
Also, like if I want to wash a dirty car, I don't even have one. I have to borrow one from my neighbor. Like,
Oh, he saw my cars. My cars are filthy.
mm,
Um, but I
yeah,
like them that way. So, I mean, only because then I get to actually, and I'm not saying anything against you, Jeff, but I don't wash my cars purposely.
yeah.
I know you could never do that. I can. It
Well,
doesn't bother me, probably like it bothers you,
I mean, the car that you saw, so the Mercedes that I brought, the white one,
which is beautiful.
that was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So still, not too bad, but
Yeah.
um, so yeah,
Yeah.
at this point, we're just getting the light fixture wired. It's standard, 14.2. What's cool about these lights is they come like pre-wired. So you see that connector on the end of the wires there, it's hanging off to my left. That's got like a Wago on it, like a push connector. So you don't need any electrical hardware. You just need the wire itself. They're super easy to connect. And honestly, the lights were great. It was my first time actually using these lights. I've heard that they were good.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people like TJ Hunt has them in his garage. I know there are a lot of Adam LZ's garages that have them, and Matt still sells them. OG still sells them. But you can also buy them directly from Prime Lights. They're actually cheaper to buy from OG by a couple dollars, but you can buy them direct from Prime Lights. They're Stinger XL, and they're a 4-foot fixture.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'll be honest with you guys, because I know nothing about lights. He
mhm.
pulled these out, and to me, they looked just like the one that I already had installed. So I was
Yeah.
thinking, like, how much of
Mhm.
a difference are these really going to be? Because like I said, I have no idea. And you'll see in just a minute, guys, like it is
Yeah.
night and day.
Did you go out there in the dark yet?
I did last night. Oh my goodness. I even had my kids. I was like, guys, come. And they're like, oh my God, mom, we don't
Yeah.
care. I'm like, well, you should, because this is
Yeah,
really
so
cool.
they've got this lid that just kind of flips up. They're hinged on one side, and then there's a little quarter turn, those little slides. And then the bulbs are just LED bulbs, and they've got a reflector on one side. But like I said, I was really impressed with the light. I'm going to order 2 of these for myself. I have the KRIS lights in my garage, but on the side I have the storage room, and that storage room has like really crappy lighting in it. It's like Harbor Freight stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm going to order a couple of these for myself, honestly, because I really like them after installing them for you.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, if you guys can see the installation, I know I'm not doing it, but the installation of those lights, it's just like a quick twist and they were in. But look
yeah,
at the brightness there. I
yeah,
mean,
and I mean,
it doesn't do it justice, like just looking at it on camera, but it's
the
incredible.
light install was 60 minutes or less, honestly, and that's including running the wiring. It's 3 screws. It's pretty easy to put together, and then this is the finished product of the pressure washer install.
Yeah, and
And
you'll
I
see
know,
you'll see what I had my pressure washer on before, you guys, is literally strapped to a dolly. Now this is
yep,
the other side.
yep, that's all the stuff that we didn't go through.
Yes. So I'm being completely vulnerable and showing you my mess. And you'll also see that, the rest of the walls aren't painted. We did buy a gallon of paint. And so this week, the rest of the walls will be painted, which is exciting, to not see it kind of half done. But
Yeah, I only painted the section that I needed to get the pressure
yeah,
washer done. It was more of interest of time. It was
yeah,
5 hours round trip of driving, so I didn't want to like waste a bunch of time doing something that somebody
yeah,
else could do. I also hate
yeah,
painting. I told you that.
yeah. I know, but he's really good at it. He really is. Everybody's saying in here that you should start auditing garages, Jeff, as
Mm,
well. Again, it might seem like it wasn't much, but what we did has already made such a huge difference. And I'm not done. Obviously I have more plans to continue organization, which is what we'll kind of start talking about here in the
yeah,
second half of the show. And hopefully the chat can kind of chime in here. I know Jeff has, some great ideas and, great suggestions, because he knows a lot about organization if you've seen his garage. But I have big plans. Jeff even brought me a stereo and speakers, which was kind of cool. You know, who doesn't like, you know, beats in their garage while they're detailing? So, you know, I can't wait to get those set up. So again, I still have big plans, but I mean, to get it to going, I really appreciate that, Jeff. You did not have to do that. And it was just amazing. I could have never done that on my own. Not the first time anyway. Well, definitely not the lights, because I'm not getting my butt up into the attic for sure. So
Well, and it's mutually beneficial, right? Like, just being honest, you know, I got to help you out, got to make a video, got to try out the prime lights, which I've never, you know, had the pleasure of installing before, got to do something new. And then you had a bunch of chemicals that, you know, I'm going to help you sell, but I'm also going to have the opportunity to test a bunch of them out and get them inexpensively. So that helps me on my channel too. So I think, you know, I think Ivan, I forget exactly how he said it, but he was like, in the YouTube detailing space, there are a lot of like these factions that are like going against each other and creating all of this drama and doing all this stuff. But like, realistically, nobody that is a detailer should be battling with another detailer, because there are more than enough cars out there, and really we should all be banded together against, you know, car washes. And, you know, like, so at the end of the day, like, we all need to help each other out, right? And
no,
it's not like you've never sent me something or helped me out. So, you know, it's paying it back, in my opinion.
Well, thank you for that. And on that note, I do want to talk about really quickly, we're going to go to the product of the week before we continue. But you guys, if you don't know, right now, this week and this month at thehouseofrags.com, there is something called Microfiber Mania. So big sales, you guys, 25% off V1 towels and 15% off V2 towels. Now, I know not all V2s have dropped yet, but again, this sale is for the month. So hopefully these V2 towels will get here soon. And with that being said, you guys, let's go to the product of the week.
Quiver beach towel. Again, the whole brand is built off my past history of surfing.
This week's product of the week is Josh V's Quiver line, Not a Beach Towel. This microfiber towel makes for efficient and streak-free vehicle drying. Both sides of the towel are short loop, edgeless, and its large size plus high absorbency make it perfect for quickly drying your vehicle. It's an 80-20 blend made in Korea to ensure quality and weighs in at 1080 GSM. Choose the Not a Beach Towel drying towel for a superior drying experience that combines efficiency, care, and durability. If you have not gotten your towel today, get it at thehouseofrags.com. KRIS 10 will save you some change. Man, and I'll tell you what, if you have not gotten a hold of that Not a Beach Towel, it is pretty.
It's very similar to the DIY drying blanket, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
And that's a great towel. It's in good company, right?
Yeah.
I have one sitting on my workbench. It is fantastic. It's another one of those things, like I mentioned, hey, I'm kind of interested in this, and then like one shows up at my house because freaking Adamo.
You're right. It is very similar to the feel of the drying blanket. And I think, in fact, in our chat group, I had said that. But it's beautiful. It's just great. I don't know. I love the color. I love the play on colors. You know, I love a good microfiber towel, I guess, no matter what the color is. But when you can add like a cool colorway twist, like that just makes it so much more pleasurable to use, you know? So I don't know.
And one thing about Josh, like his line is unique, right?
Yeah, very.
Everything he's done has been unique. It's been his own. So I think that's cool.
So Fukutan, we talked about this, right, Jeff? In my garage, don't paint your walls gray. I made that mistake. And I told Jeff, okay, look, I guarantee Ivan's going to have something to say about this, because he definitely says do not have dark colored walls. Unfortunately, I had already, before I even got into like the detailing thing, my walls, or one half of the wall, was already painted that color. So I just kind of went with it. If I'm going to regret that, I don't know, but I just wanted it to look uniform, I guess, at this point. I might go back and eventually change that. I don't know. But at this point, it was already done kind of a third of the way, which is why I continued with the gray. But yes, I've been told I'm going to regret that. So we will see.
I did bright white on my whole garage. So when I first moved in, my garage was like beige and, beige and beige.
Yeah.
And I did like super white, high gloss, as bright as it could possibly be. And I will say that I kind of hated it. I found it really, really fatiguing when I was in there for long periods of time. Now my garage is actually the same color as my wall of my office here. It's AF 700, I think is the color from Benjamin Moore. It's called Storm. But I don't know. I think gray can be okay if you have enough lighting. If you don't have enough lighting, then gray is going to absorb and it's going to definitely make it worse. But
yeah, we'll see. And I'm keeping in my ceiling at this point is still just, the drywall white. I mean, I'm not painting that at this point. So I don't know if hopefully that'll keep it kind of opened up and looking brighter with the lights. I don't know, but we will definitely see. Enthusiast, you're right. I am committing because I already started the commitment. So I just, like I said, I just kind of went through with it. And yeah, Chris, I agree. I think if it was a pro shop, it would make more of a difference. But because it's just my home, and I do have, other lighting. I know Bobby, he has sent me a light. I do have, a couple of others. I have things that will help to illuminate. So I think I'll be okay. We'll see. I don't know. But let's kind of talk a little bit, you guys, about garages in general. And again, I hope the chat can kind of chime in. I don't know what everybody's garage situation is. I don't know if, most of us in here are mobile detailers, if we're detailing out of our garages, but I am detailing out of just a 2-car garage, which really isn't a 2-car garage at all because I can only fit one. But I think my biggest struggle is balancing that like workspace with the storage space because I have to do both. I don't have an attic that is readily accessible for me to put things in. So what is the best organization for somebody who has to utilize a garage in both senses and that of their detailing and storage? Because that is the hardest thing for me. So I'm curious what you think, Jeff, and if you want to chime in the comments, how you do it, how you balance that space, please, let's talk about it.
Well, I've done a couple options in the past. So when I first moved in here, I had a storage unit, and storage units like 50, 60, 80 bucks a month. You have to drive there. It's kind of a huge pain in the butt. You're constantly moving all this stuff around. And I would put whatever holiday it wasn't in the storage unit. So it'd be Christmas and, then I would take that out and I'd put away Halloween and, it's just kind of a constant thing. I would say for you in your situation, I would consider building a small shed. Like you get a shed kit from Lowe's for like 500, 800 bucks for like one of those metal shed kits that's like 8x8 or 10x10. Put it on a wood base in your backyard, and you could probably put all of your Christmas, all of your holiday decorations, and like the kids stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I have the same problem. Eva's got a scooter, an electric scooter. She's got a bicycle. She's got a skateboard. She's got helmets and all kinds of stuff, soccer balls, whatever. It's like you just need a place for that stuff to belong. Because otherwise your garage becomes the catch-all.
Yes.
For, everything that doesn't have a home. So, in my opinion, I think a shed is best. If you can't do a shed, then one of those like overhead hanging racks could work really well, which is kind of interesting because Flexi Mounts reached out to me and said, hey, would you be interested in testing out one of our overhead hanging racks? It's like a storage bin rack for the garage. And I was like, it was like Wednesday of last week. I was like, can you get it here by Friday? And they're like, no. I'm like, because I was thinking it would be perfect for your garage, actually. And something like that can work really well for the Christmas stuff, especially when you've got 10-foot ceilings. So your height isn't really a problem. It's just getting stuff up and off the ground.
Yeah.
I think that's really helpful.
Yeah. And, I have thought about a shed. It's definitely not a bad idea. And you're right, Todd, I was actually going to just bring this up that Costco has some reasonable priced sheds as well. In fact, my dad and I were just looking at some the other day. Yeah. That might be where I'm going. It just really depends. I kind of, I just need to come up with something and just go for it. I think sometimes I get, too caught up in the, like, I'm in my head too much what will work. I just need to do something and roll with it. So a shed might be where I go, but I do like the idea of the, retractable, ceiling storage as well. I've seen that before. So
for the money I spent on storage units, I probably could have bought 3 sheds.
Yeah.
Truthfully, over the years,
Yeah.
and now it's just a 10 by 10. It's where my lawnmower goes. It's where Eva's bicycle is, just basic storage, and that works well.
And I've had storages before, in a storage unit, but I hate having to get in my car and going. Like, I want it to be accessible from my home. And that might sound bougie to some people. I don't know. But if I want something, I want to be able to go into my backyard or open my garage and grab it. I do not want to have to make it a trip. You know what I mean? I don't know. That maybe that's
100%. I hear exactly what you're saying. That's why I got rid of my storage unit and brought everything here.
Yeah.
So I have holidays in the attic, and I have lawn stuff in the shed. But because you rent, you have a gardener that comes over and takes care of your lawn and stuff. So you don't need to house all of the lawn care equipment. So we could do everything in a shed.
Yeah, that would be cool, right, Becca? We built a shed. I mean, there are some great video ideas, really, when you think about it, when it just comes to, which is why I love your channel, Jeff, because you do touch on a lot of these things. But, there's a lot more to the detailing than just detailing, because you have to have the environment that makes it doable, workable, easy, So that kind of brings me up to my next point. I think Becca's in here, and I think she's kind of talked about this a little bit. I, too, have also thought about the idea of like cabinets, shelving spaces. I like the idea when I see videos and, like, let's take, Pan for example, or even you, when you are, giving your introduction or whatnot, you have like a specific point where you have those beautiful cabinets or shelving in the background.
Yeah.
But is that plausible? And if so, are there inexpensive cabinets and shelving brands? Because I can't afford to go to, onto OG and get the OG cabinets. I just can't. So where are some places you can go to find affordable cabinets that are the really nice built-in, or not built-in, but buildable units?
Yeah. So I've been actually working with Becca on this, like,
Oh,
all day yesterday and a portion of today, and kind of helping her out with a couple things. So I would say they're really like 3 tiers of cabinets that I would consider like acceptable, right?
Okay.
So on the entry level tier, you're going to have like your new age bold series and pro series. You're going to have like your husky cabinets and gladiator cabinets. I really wouldn't do cobalt. The big thing is, if you're going to do cabinets, you at least want them to be welded cabinets, meaning that they ship fully assembled and that all of the corners are boxed and welded, and that you're not like assembling them from a pile of sheet metal.
Yes.
Because those ones are just really flimsy, and you start having problems with like the doors not being aligned and they don't shut right and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So new age is kind of like the entry level for that. And, Becca's looking at a 9-foot long array, which, your back wall is probably, I don't know, 25, 30 feet, something like that. She's looking at like a 9-foot long array, and it's going to be like $2,000 in new age, right?
Yeah.
Which I realize is a decent amount of money, but like, those storage things that you have are probably $100-$150 a piece, and you've got a couple of them. It's like you might have, you might be closer to an array than you think. Then you get to like the mid-level stuff. So that'd be like what I have. So I have Sonic MSS. That's something from OG. Now there's a higher level than that, but that's like a kind of an entry level OG cabinet. They also have slat wall, and they have Sabre used to be around. I don't think that they're really making those anymore, but something like that. My garage was probably $10,000 to do my cabinet array, something along those lines. And I really like them.
I don't have Jeff money, so.
Well, I don't have Pan money. I mean,
your garage is beautiful.
Well, Pan's Rousseau cabinets are, to do my garage in Pan's would probably be 30 to 50 grand.
Yeah, that's insane. Wow.
Now they're amazing. You go to SEMA
beautiful.
and you go and open up a Rousseau cabinet, and you stand in the door, and it doesn't even move, and like you can see the reason why they cost what they cost. But But yeah, I mean,
No, you definitely get what you pay for, I think, in that sense sometimes. I know some people are saying because I rent, it's not worth it. I don't know. Just
you
for
can
my
still
peace
move
of
them.
mind and sanity, it might be. I
Yeah.
don't know. Um,
I mean, I
yeah,
did my whole garage while I was still renting.
yeah,
Everything I had was done while I was renting. Before I ended up buying the house, which was
yeah,
kind of an odd thing, but
yeah,
you could probably do like the entire back wall of your garage with cabinets for 5, especially if you caught a sale on like New Age or Husky, and
yeah,
you would have a really good experience, and you could still move them somewhere else if you ended up moving, as
yeah,
long as you got a garage there.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's where I would start.
Okay. And I mean, let's see, I've been in this house since 2019. I
Yeah,
really
so you're
hope.
already on 6 years.
I mean, yeah, I've been here for quite a while now. Do I want to rent for the rest of my life? No.
Right.
Do I need the market to do something different? Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that is something to think about. And
Yeah.
again, like a storage, a unit in the backyard, that would be something I would take with me. I mean, unless I left it, which I don't. I mean, I guess I could, but I don't know why I would if it's movable.
I think it depends on how you look at it, right? If you
Yeah.
look at it as I'm willing to spend $50 a month on a storage unit, well,
Yeah.
then if you put a shed in your backyard for a year, you've paid for it.
Yeah.
Realistically, because the money that you would have spent on that storage unit got spent on the shed. It's been depreciated 100%. I'm just going to use it and leave it when I go.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that we did that you couldn't take with you. You could unscrew the reel from the wall. You could take the pressure washer off. Even the lights could come down. It's a 3/4 inch hole in the ceiling for the wire to come through that you could patch up with, some spackle.
Yeah.
So you could go down to the single light that you had when you moved in, just leave one of them there. But
Yeah.
even at that, the lights are $400. Like it's not an insane amount of money for something that you get joy out of.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've spent way more money on stupider things, I guess. You know what I mean? Or more wasteful things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So something else I kind of want to talk about, which is it's a problem for me. Well, I think it's a problem because I can't stand it. But garage floors.
Mm.
Now, my garage floor is literally just cement and it gets, you saw, right? It gets dusty. And I mean, I do have, pest control, but there's still critters that come in, spiders and webs. What can I do for my flooring that is an inexpensive? I mean,
Mm.
I can't obviously, I can't do what I want to do, right? I really would love Swiss tracks. I can't do Swiss tracks. Is there something that you can do to a cement floor that makes it easier? Is there some kind of like coating or that
Yeah,
doesn't break the bank? This is something else I'm looking into.
yeah, you can. The problem is, and we're gonna get the epoxy mafia here in the comments, but as Keith
And
calls
no,
them.
and I know that's what Chelsea
So
did. She
I've done
epoxied.
epoxy 3 times.
Okay.
My parents' house had it when they moved in. We redid it a couple years later when it failed. And then here it had epoxy when I moved in. It failed. And we did another whole epoxy. And like you go through all the prep and the grinding and the acid wash and do all of the stuff. And then you still end up like having parts that fail. And some people have done epoxy floors that have held up really well for them and they've had a great experience for them. And I'm super
Yeah.
happy for them. I wish they worked for me. They just didn't. Every time I tried to do it, it just never worked out. So, I ended up going with the Swiss tracks, as you know. Now there are some less expensive versions of Swiss tracks. You can do something like Race Deck, which is less expensive. Swiss tracks even has a home line, which is less expensive. But, I'd say I'd hate to see us spend $500, $600, $800 doing like an epoxy floor to
Yeah.
have it fail, to then end up still going and buying the Swiss tracks or something
Yeah.
like that anyway. And yeah, enthusiast, you bring up a really good point.
Yeah.
I have
I thought
flakes
of
in
that
mine,
too.
but they are very slippery when wet.
Yeah. So is this Vivor? Am I saying that correctly? Is this just another version of Swiss tracks that's cheaper?
Yeah, I'm familiar
Maybe,
with Vivor as a
maybe I can
company.
put it up here. I don't know.
Yeah, I've
Vivor.
never seen the Vivor tracks, so
Okay. I was gonna look it up too. Let me
Interesting.
see. So is it Vivor Tracks? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Vivor garage tiles.
Vivor garage tiles. Sorry guys, I'm just really interested. See, I see a lot of
Yeah, I see.
I don't
So
think I'm in
they
the
look
right.
pretty interesting. 40 pieces or $60. That's pretty cheap for a 12 by 12. They look similar-ish to Race Deck.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, I would say something like that seems like a good option. Now, you know, your garage is what, 25 by 25? It's like 625 square feet. So you'd end up needing, you know, you're probably talking $800 to $1,000 to do them in something
Oh,
like this, which isn't that
okay.
bad. It's about half the price of
Yeah.
Swiss Tracks.
Okay. So Keeve did something. Oh, it's not called Vivor Tracks. Oh, he did
It's
something else you're saying. Okay. And
yeah,
then Tom said Josh V just did them. Maybe I missed that.
Vivor interlocking drainage mat is what they're called on Vivor's website. Now I could probably get some of them to try them out. They're sending me a DI system to test out. Vivor is.
Okay. So this is what they look like for anybody.
Yeah.
So is this what you see, Jeff, here?
Yeah, they have one that's got slots in it, like the Swiss Tracks ones too. They have a couple different
Okay.
styles, it looks like. So, but yeah,
Okay.
just like that. They look pretty inexpensive. They're about $1 a piece.
Yeah.
So interesting
that would
option.
be interesting. Yeah.
So I like the tiles myself. I find that it makes the garage comfortable. Like I'm out there in my socks all the time and I don't feel like it's dirty. A lot of the dirt falls down below. I just unsnap a section once a year and I you know, clean it out. Now, if I lived in snow, I probably wouldn't do them. You know, actually my parents have them though, and they live in snow, but because you end up with like all that crap that kind of falls down below them and they're not easy to keep clean. But I like them. I like how they work. I tried epoxy. I wanted epoxy, and then I just couldn't make it happen. So this was my second best bet. But yeah, these look really cool. I never knew they existed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look further into those because then I mean, I don't know. And see, I guess I obviously would have to do some measuring, but I don't know. I just feel like something to help me out with with the dust factor. And Becca and a couple other people were saying to maybe paint the ceiling. Is that really something that helps with dust? I'm not, again, I know nothing about this stuff. So
yeah, it can. I don't think it's going to make a huge, because your ceiling is all sealed, meaning like it's all you know, spackled and taped and all of that stuff. So I don't think that it's going to be I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but it will make some. It's going to help to pull your eyes away from the fact that it's like that beige color and always looks dirty. Painting, it's also going to cover up any dirt that's there, right?
So David is saying, David, if you're talking about the garage flooring that we were just looking at, and you're saying not to put weight on them, so would I be able, I mean, like a car jack, but I would obviously hopefully be able to drive my car on them, correct?
Oh, of course, you'll be fine with that.
Right, that's what they're making.
Even the Swiss Tracks will deform with a floor jack. I use a piece of you can buy sheet metal from Lowe's or Home Depot. It's just it's a piece. It's like 2 feet by 2 feet. I've got like a square piece of sheet metal sitting in my garage. So I just pull that out. I stick it under the car and I use that with my floor jack. Because what happens is the wheels, when you're jacking up the car, they get pushed into the plastic and they kind of like make divots in them.
Yeah. Okay. So another question I want to ask you, and again, chat, please chime in. I love hearing from you guys. You most of the time have the best suggestions, if not all the time. But Jeff, think about the one garage upgrade for you that made the biggest difference for your detailing, for your videos, for your organization, for your peace of mind. What is the one thing that you would say made the biggest difference? And then if anybody else wants to chime in, something that you've done to your garage or your space that has made all the difference for you.
Yeah, I'd say honestly the hose reel. Because otherwise, like before that, you're fighting with, you've got this thing, it's like rolled up and you're fighting with it and you're trying to like, it's just a huge pain. Once you have the hose reel, it's like, I can I can walk outside, wash my car, and put everything away in like 20 minutes, start to finish, legitimately. And it just makes it so much easier to go out and do a video and not have to worry about all of that stuff. Yeah, Becca said hose reel, West Cat hose reel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby hose reel.
Yeah.
And then I would say the second thing is probably lighting,
Mm.
because lighting extends your useful, like the time that you can use your garage, right? It
Yeah.
makes it so that it's better on weekends, it's better in the weather, it's better for all of that.
Yeah.
But I'd say, yeah, hose reel number one. And then I see Gorilla cart. Yeah. So even if it's not a hose reel mount on the wall, like Becca has a really cool cart that she built out of like
Yeah.
a plastic U-line cart.
Yeah.
Got the hose reel mounted below it. She's got her active on it because she works in the driveway. She doesn't have water in her garage. So she
Yeah.
pulls the cart out, she connects it to her hose, and she just off to the races, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Afu was saying Safe Racks has one more like Swiss track. So I'm guessing
Okay.
that's another brand. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, there's a lot of them now. When I did it 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there were really only two. There were Swiss Tracks and Raceback.
Yeah.
And Raceback was 12 by 12, Swiss Tracks was 16 by 16, and the Swiss Tracks were a little bit thicker. And I don't know if I should say this in front of everybody, but if you call Swiss Tracks and you tell them that you want to do a whole garage, they will give you discounting. So I got 25% off of all of my tiles when I did my garage. Now my garage is a decent size, but 25% of $4,000 is still $1,000 off, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's
So, now I'm seeing these Tough tiles. That's another brand. I'm seeing, the Vivor stuff. I didn't even know that existed, but like there's a lot of brands that are starting to make these.
Yeah.
And I think what that's going to do is it's going to start driving the price of them down. And maybe they don't hold up perfectly as well, but for your average person who's not doing mechanic work in their garage, I'm sure they're going to be perfectly fine. And for how cheap these are, just buy like 10 more than you need. And if you ever ruin one, pop it out and replace it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now they even have them on Temu. I probably shouldn't go there though, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't do the Temu ones probably, but Vivor's been around for a long time. They make a bunch of other things that I've used that have been good. That inflator for the inflator for the bubble wrap, that's Vivor.
Oh, okay. Okay. Frankie is saying Glosslar lit. Am I saying that right? Glosslar lit. I don't know. I'm gonna have to on Amazon. So is that, look it up, Jeff? Is that flooring, Frankie? We've done the hose reel and the pressure washer mounting it. I haven't had the opportunity to use it yet. I've been like I said, I was in training today and I'll be in training the next couple days. But by this weekend, I will get to use it. And I can already tell you that I already know that that's going to be a big help. Having to pull my pressure washer around on that bucket dolly was not the business, with the hose getting all tangled up. It was awful. So,
yeah.
But
so these ones look a little bit more like Swiss Tracks. Actually, they're 16 by 16. They're 0.79 of an inch thick. And they're available in a couple different colors.
Thank you. Cool. So,
yeah.
I'll have to look into that. Do they look more or less like the Okay.
I'm gonna say they're probably about $1,100-$1,200 to do your garage. Maybe 25% more expensive, something like that. Because they're saying 51 square feet is $100. I'm guessing your garage is around 600 square feet all in.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I never measured it.
Yeah, I really have no idea. I mean, there's definitely space in there. I just have to utilize it, and I'm starting to notice too, and it's really kind of starting to piss me off, if I'm being honest with you, is, I bought those shelving units from Walmart, but now they're all doing this, just bowing in, because one, yes, I know that I have too much, weight on it. But two, because they weren't the most expensive things. They're just cheap plastic. And I should have kind of known that, but I was, looking for a quick solution.
Well, that's something, maybe you go through those shelves, get to the winter time or something like that, go through all of those cabinets. Maybe you get rid of half the stuff in collectively those cabinets, and that pays for you to buy
Yeah.
a nice cabinet or two to put the rest of the stuff that you keep in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
I think garages, it's kind of like the Viper chair. You cry once, right? Buy once, cry once.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that that's really the mentality I should have gone with in terms of my garage from the beginning, because you end up spending all of this money on quick fixes, cheap
You do it 3
solutions.
times.
Yeah, but they don't last. And
Yeah.
so, it really financially, if I would have really planned it out, if I would have talked to you about this sooner, Jeff,
Yeah.
I might
Well,
have made
I did my garage 3
Yeah.
times too.
Wow.
I mean, it was all white with Harbor Freight lights
Yeah.
and Harbor Freight cabinets and Cobalt things that I couldn't like. I bought my first 2 cabinets. They were Cobalt. They had dents in the doors. I couldn't get them fixed. They replaced them under warranty. The new ones arrived damaged. Like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't win. And then finally, I just bit the bullet. I was like, you know what? Screw it. And I bought like $6,000 worth of cabinets from OG. It was like half of the garage that I needed. And then it was a lot of money, but I really liked them. So then I just kind of saved up and did it a second time. And that's something too, like buying everything all at once. If you're going to do cabinets, figure out what you want, buy it all at once, because the shipping is insanely expensive compared to those cabinets.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Viper chair is pretty epic. I'm not going to lie. I have 2 of them. I love them. They're amazing.
He has 2 of them.
Well, I have a short one and a tall one. So I use the short one when I'm polishing, and then I use the tall one to sit at the workbench that's there. And honestly, I don't really ever sit at the workbench. I'm kind of thinking like I shouldn't have bought the other tall one. So at some point it'll probably get repurposed somewhere else. But
Yeah.
I do love
No,
them.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous completely. Do you have any suggestions here for Bobby, Jeff? He said his ego died. Your Ryobi? Oh, I'm surprised the Ryobi died too. Was it the newer one or was it an older one, Bobby? Something good that will last?
I mean, if you're doing it professionally and you want something that's going to last, it's not the most output in the world, but seriously, the Krenzla is so incredibly solid. I realize it's $1,000 machine. Like, I know that's not an insignificant amount of money, but I had mine I did 3 cars a week for 5 years, and I sold it to Atomo, and all I did were 2 oil changes. Like, the thing was just so insanely solid.
Yeah.
Rick has another good one there, the AR630. They're like in the $800-900 range. If you're looking for something cheap, the Karcher is not bad for $150. The Karcher Cube, they have a 3-year warranty. I've always kind of said, like, the only thing better than having a good warranty is never needing to use it. Like, I've heard Milwaukee has good warranties. I've never made a claim, so I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But I did the Harbor Freight special. Then I bought the Greenworks from Lowe's. Then I finally bought a Krenzla, the K1322. And when I bought it, it was like $900. Keeve has been testing a couple recently. The new AR is very good, it seems. He really likes the big boy, and he likes the what was the new one that just came out that everybody was talking about? I guess it was the Ryobi, the one that's
the
I don't know if that's the one that Bobby blew up or if it was a different Ryobi.
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
And I don't have experience, do you, with the Active 2.3? Mine's a 2.0.
No, I have experience with the 2.0, not the 2.3, because at that point I was already into the Krenzla. But Active has always made a decent product. I think they've always held up fairly well.
Yeah. Yeah, I love my Active. I will say that the first, I think it was in like the 2nd or 3rd month, it just quit on me. However, called, customer service, and with a year warranty, they literally no questions asked. They sent me a brand new one.
That's nice.
And I have had no issues since, and it's been over a year now. So I love my Active. I don't know. I know people say it's loud, and I know people say the 2.3 is loud, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know any better. I love it. I've had no qualms.
Yeah.
I would really like to see the price of Josh V's. I'm really anticipating his pressure washer.
Mhm.
It looks solid, and, he really seems like, he's looking at it from a consumer point of view, what the people want. I don't know. It looks like a solid unit. I don't know if anybody else has been following that. I'm really interested to see what the price point will be. I would
Yeah.
love it to be something, around what the active is. I mean, I honestly, I cannot see spending over 350 for a pressure washer. And that is just, in my opinion, to me, that is like the cutoff. Now, that might sound silly to some. That might sound like too much to some. I just, for me personally,
Yeah. Well, I could see
I'm
that for
hoping
you
that his
in
is
your
around that price because I would
in
love
your
to
situation.
get
Yeah,
it.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it'll be more or less? Let's talk about it. What do you guys think? What do you think Josh's pressure washer price point is going to be? I want to say 350 because I feel like he is making it for the people. But then again, I don't know. I feel like he's kind of, he's going all out.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it was,
I think there's a way, if you have something that's really designed for flow and not for pressure, because most of the pressure washers out there are designed for high pressure and we're like orificing them
Yeah.
down to make them higher flow. I think if you had something that was designed for flow, you could probably do something inexpensive, in the 350, 400 range. I'd like to see that. I think
Yeah.
would be a great option around that price. I mean,
Yeah.
no matter what it is, Thor's going to put it on sale all the time. So you'll probably be able to get a discount anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully. Kristen, will save you some change.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think everybody else is kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
The same price point. I would be, honestly, I will be very disappointed if it is more.
Yeah.
I feel, Josh, if you're listening, not like what I say even matters. However, I feel like a lot of people, again, if you look in the chats, are kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah. 400, 325 to 425,
Yeah. I feel like that is the sweet spot.
299.
More than 400, and I'm pissed.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to get to mess around with an active or not an active, an AR 875, 870. I can't remember what it is. It's from Chelsea, actually. So Chelsea bought one and blew it up. And I was like, I'll send you some money for that and rebuild it. So I'm going to mess around with it and see what it's like. I've never used that one. I've used the 630.
Yeah.
Oh, Becca.
Yes.
And so I'll get to play around with that. I will say, like, the thing that I built from Can Pump is really cool. But it requires you to have the right outlet on your wall for it. So, like, as a renter, it's not really feasible to get there without hiring an electrician and having some other stuff done. But that for $1,100, I don't think you're going to beat it, like, at that price point, period. It's just, and Krensla, yes, Wes, Krensla's coming out with a 240 volt 15 amp with total stop, which has, like, it's surprisingly a lot like what I built from Can Pump, honestly. So it seems like they came to the same conclusion, which is cool. I've always liked Krensla, but I've heard that's going to be like $2,000, $2,500, something thereabouts. So I don't know that it's going to be, it's going to make sense.
Yeah.
Foo, less than $400.
Hopefully. I'm hoping, and I'm hoping it gets here sooner than later. I know it's taken a little longer than he had anticipated, but I think that's kind of what I appreciate, is he's not just trying to throw something out for the sake of completing, a pressure washer. I mean, I feel like he really is taking into account, every aspect of the design. Which I think is cool. It's what makes me think it's going to be pretty terrific.
I'm interested in messing around with his shotgun. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
So
beautiful. And again, I just love the color. I don't know.
I know.
Else. I would love for those things to be customizable, though. Like, I would love for, the guns and the hoses to be customizable and colored just like your towels. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be amazing. I know he said that the hose, he might be able to customize it in a color or two. I think it's going to cost a lot more if you wanted to do that, but
I just don't know about the
Like
long-term durability of the Uberflex personally. Like, I've messed around with them a little bit. They're nice and flexible, but I like the single wire hose like you have is kind of tried and true. They've been
Yeah.
around for a long time.
Yeah.
They hold up really well. You could drive over it with your car. You're not going to break it. It's just going to be super solid. The Uberflex and the what's the other one? The Flexzilla.
Xzilla. Yeah.
They, I've seen older ones where they've got like bubbles and stuff like that in them. I just don't know what the longevity of them is.
Yeah.
I think I wish that he came out with something longer because he only did a 50. And unless your hose reel, like you actually could have gotten away with a 50 where your hose reel is, but unless
Yeah.
your hose reel's right by your door, a 50 doesn't really work. Because
Yeah.
once you get out of the garage from the back wall, it's like 25, 30 feet,
Yeah. And I know that some people I've heard have had issues with, me having the Active 2.0, but with the Flexzilla and the Uberflex with like problems with surging and things of that sort, which is kind of why I'm glad I went with the Cobra Jet. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting, but it looks like a good setup regardless. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Frankie said Ethos new MJJC. Yeah, I have that. It's nice. I like it a lot.
What is the colorway for that?
It's like a black and gold. It looks really cool.
Really?
I'll send you a picture of it later. It's neat.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim from Ethos sent me one to try out, and it's an MJGC Pro. It's identical to the Clover or the actual Pro V2, but it looks really good.
Oh, good. Becca says, so far, no surging. That's right. I forget that you have the hose, Becca. I do have an Ethos foam cannon, honestly, it's one of their, their older cannons that I actually really like, but I don't think it's not an MJJC though, or maybe it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it is though.
I don't think it is. The new one is. I don't know. I don't think the older one was though.
Yeah.
J Farm, that's a good question. I'm going to chase that a little bit. So I think if you're using something like a single unit, like a Krenzla 1322, an Active 2.0, an Active 2.3, an AR, something like that, you could probably go all the way to 100 feet with a 1/4-inch hose and be perfectly fine. But once you get to something where you're doing like dual Krenzlas or like my pressure washer where it's like 3 gallons per minute, I think that's when you're going to need like 5/16 or 3/8. I will say I know Adamo bought a 1/4-inch hose, a 100-foot 1/4-inch hose, and he's got dual Krenzlas. And what he saw was that his flow didn't really drop, but his pressure at the head was like 300 psi higher than what was coming out the other side. So like there was a lot of pressure trying to push through that hose. So he then was going to try a 5/16 and see how that worked. So I want to chase that too. I would like to be able to do a lighter weight hose. I want to go black on my hose as well. Mine's blue right now, and most of my garage is not blue, so I want a black hose, and I thought it was a good time to kind of change it up. So yeah. Adamo said 1/4-inch hose is 3 gallons per minute at 100 feet. Yeah,
pretty interesting. Yeah, well, yeah, man, all this talk about hoses, right? And it's so funny. Sometimes I like sit and I just become baffled because I think about the things that I find so interesting now. My old self would have been
how boring this would have been for your,
my old self, 20 years ago.
College you.
What are you talking about? And it just is so exciting. I love it all. Well, you guys, we have been on for a little over an hour. If I don't know that I saw any more questions, I definitely am still thinking about my garage, you guys, and things that I can do. I know that I want to get it done sooner or later. That is definitely, now that I've gotten started, I don't want to put it off any longer. I need to get it painted, and I need to find some serious, solutions here. Do you have, another thing I was talking actually before we go, and thank you, Frankie, because you just brought it up. You were talking about house vacuums. I hate house vacuums. Don't talk to me about vacuums in a house. But what about do you have a central vacuum system in your garage?
No, if I
No.
was going to do one, honestly, I've seen the OG one in action.
Yeah.
It's like $1,000, but most central vacs are about that.
Yeah.
But I helped Matt and Mike and all of them do the garage for the green one that they did. That's in
Yeah.
Los Alamos, and I helped him out on that. And he had the central vac set up there, and it's really good,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
It's super solid. So I think that thing's great. I would totally recommend that if you're going to go central vac. But personally, what I use, I've got a Milwaukee. It's cordless. It's the 2 battery. It's like a, I don't know, 9-gallon or something like that. It holds 2 batteries, and the thing just works great, and it's portable, and you can pick it up and take it with you, and it's super cool. Before that, I had a rigid, standard 5 horsepower like everybody has. That worked well also. And then in my house, we haven't like a regular vacuum, but I have an Oofy, a robot that runs twice a day, and it just vacuums my house every day. And I find that as long as it just continuously runs, you don't really need to keep up after it. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah. We just got a message or I just got a message from Becca Green in the house. And I think thank you, Becca. You guys don't know Becca. Amazing person. Literally my heart. But let's do a giveaway. She kind of brought it up, and I think that this is a great idea. Let's give away a Quiver beach towel. What do you guys think? Not a beach towel. Quiver,
right?
Not a beach towel.
Well, it is if you drive to the beach.
It is
like
if you drive to the beach.
It doesn't go all the way around you, so it's not really a great beach towel, honestly.
Just don't use it on your car after. But I mean, nobody would know. I promise you, nobody would know. All right, so let's give away a Quiver beach towel. Let's see. Question. I'm gonna ask a question. Okay. We'll make it kind of simple. What is the last? You guys are going to probably have to research this. What is the last video Jeff posted on his channel?
I don't even know. I have to go look.
What is the last video? Just tell me what it was about. This is for the Quiver. Oh, I think Westcat got it.
Yeah, Luminous. It was Luminous.
It was Luminous.
Luminous, waterless. Slick said stuff.
on mine, Westcat came first.
Westcat is first on mine too.
Yeah, I wasn't super like topic oriented in terms of like a actual, title. Luminous works for me. So Westcat, you know how to get a hold of me, or I will get a hold of you, and we will get that Quiver towel to you. So thank you, Becca, for that nudge, and congratulations to Westcat. Oh, he says, can I send it to Pay It Forward?
Okay.
That would be amazing. We can absolutely do that.
Sure. Why not?
Becca says, I got him, Kristi. But yeah, absolutely, to Pay It Forward, which you guys is coming up. If you, I'm sure most of you have heard about the Pay It Forward campaign, but it's what Phoenix EOD puts together. It happens around, I think the whole thing happens around, is it Thanksgiving or Christmas? Is it Thanksgiving? I want to say around Thanksgiving time. But if there's anything that you would like to donate or give away, and in fact, I'll have to, I need to get Aaron on. I think I need to get Aaron on. This would be a good thing to talk about, because it's already August. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, next week will be Halloween, and then the week after that's Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody, right? Yep. Happy New Year, because that's just the way it goes. Boo was saying to try the draft tools vac, really convenient. I've seen that. Yeah, I'm thinking, again, my brain just constantly thinking of things I want to add to my garage when I should probably step back and just do the organization first. But I don't know, a system I think would be great. Cosmo has Christmas stuff already. I don't doubt it. So does Hobby Lobby.
they definitely have Halloween already.
Yeah.
I definitely think like purge like one more shelf, and you'll be able to pay for cabinets to keep the stuff that you
purge
keep.
One more shelf, which I probably could.
I think you could. You've got like 4
Yeah.
left if you include the 2 up top and those other 2. Like,
Yeah.
and just buy one nice like 48-inch wide cabinet, like a Husky or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like the one that Becca's getting from New Age, and
Yeah.
you could put all the stuff that you keep in that cabinet. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody asked me what my bucket setup. I think it was Dragon. I have the double bucket setup from Grit Guard, the 2 dollies that are connected, but actually I have a lot of buckets.
You
I don't
do.
know if I have
Yeah.
I have quite a few buckets on dollies.
Yeah.
I got into the I don't know. I think buckets are cool, and I like buckets. Who doesn't like a
Yeah.
bucket? You need a
You
bucket, right?
have a Yeti too sitting there.
I do have a Yeti. Thanks to Becca. Shout out Becca.
Mhm.
And it's beautiful. I'm almost afraid to use it because it's so pretty.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I
I
can't-
did the whole like OG bucket package and all that stuff, and people rail on the cost of that. And the
Oh,
same thing with the Yeti, they rail on the cost, and they're even the Armor one, they're railing on the cost of it in
yeah.
the comments and stuff. But it's like when you add up the grit guard
Yeah.
and the wheels and the joiner and the bucket and the lid and all the stuff that goes in
Yeah.
it, it's like, well, you end up at $100 for a bucket. So
Yeah.
it's $300 for 3, you know?
Yeah.
But I love the Yetis that I have now. I have 2 of
Yeah.
them. And I think they're super solid. But yeah,
To be honest, I like my Chemical Guys bucket.
I had those for years. I had 4 or 5 of them, all
like
different
it.
colors, because they would do like the bucket thing that you'd spend $50 and you get a
Yeah.
bucket with
Everything
a bunch of stuff
inside.
in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had
Yep.
like a clear blue one and a clear red one and a smoke colored one and like
Yeah.
all these. And then I had the Chemical Guys dollies too. But yeah, I
Yeah.
bought the OG
You're not
buckets
bad.
during one of their giveaways, just to get some entries. And I think I can't remember what I did with the Chemical Guys ones. I think I gave them to my dad or somebody.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, they're good buckets. If anything else, I think you spend like, you know, $25-$30 on the Chemical Guys set at Walmart. And if anything, you get a
Mhm.
nice bucket. Like it's almost
Yep.
worth it.
Yep.
You know, Chemical Guys. What can
Mhm.
I say? They
Well,
I always say this. They have a few good things, okay?
yeah, they do.
A few.
I'm gonna do a video on that actually too.
Are you?
Especially, well, I mean, I just got a bunch of Chemical Guy stuff from
Oh, there you go.
I was there, so it's kind of.
I still like VRP. I don't care who you are or what you say.
I like VRP. I like Honeydew.
Yeah, I like the nonsense, which is
Nonsense.
like an
Yes,
NPC,
I
but
still keep that. I buy that by the gallon.
it's great for honestly, I like it on the interiors. I think it's amazing and it leaves a nice finish.
It's a good carpet shampoo. It works well. Even
Yeah,
on like a mark on a headliner, it's great for.
Yeah.
It's clear.
yeah.
And
There's,
then
you know,
they've got 5 wheel cleaners. One of them is good. They've got 3 glass cleaners or 4 glass cleaners. One of them is good. It's the green one.
Matt says Honeydew sucks. Well,
Oh no, fail. Honeydew is the best. What do you like, Mr. Pink?
okay, you know what I do really like, and actually I think Eddie did a video, if I can remember correctly, but their waterless wash
Oh, EcoSmart RU.
is
Yeah.
not bad.
I
It's
used to
really not
use
bad.
that was
I
like
like
the
it.
bottle that I kept in my glove box. You know what I mean? Like,
Look
oh,
what Sam just said. Sam, $50 Thor gift card on you, please. Another giveaway? What do you guys say? I'm all for it. Thank you, Sam. That's amazing. Let's see. Jeff, do you have a question? You want me to come up with it?
I don't know if did we talk about it?
I mean,
what's Kristi's youngest son, what sport does he play?
oh. Okay. My youngest son, what sport does he play right now? Would it be right now?
Right now.
Oh, look at
Yep.
Bobby got it.
Bobby
Right,
then
is that
drafted.
who I saw?
Yeah, Bobby's first. It looks like.
Enthusiast and Arcus, you're not wrong, but he's not playing that currently. So right now he is playing football. And Detail Obsessed, the bull rider, is actually my older son, although my youngest son does do the mutton busting. But yes, Bobby, congratulations. Thank you so much, Sam, for doing that. That is absolutely amazing. So Bobby, Sam, we will all connect. Woohoo. Oh, Arcus, you just guessed. Well, not a bad guess. Bobby for the win. Absolutely.
Nice.
What do you think, Jeff? Are we good?
I think so.
Yeah. It's been an
Yeah.
hour and 20 minutes. I always have so much fun, and you are right. You are the first to come on for a second time, and hopefully I can get you on again, because I feel like there's always stuff to talk about, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm always happy to do it.
Yeah. I mean, why not? But again, you guys, thank you so much for being here with me on this Monday. Jeff, please stay safe.
I have no control over that. But
I know. But I mean, have a plan. Make sure you have a plan.
yeah, you just told me to have a safe flight, and it's like, I'm not the pilot.
No, I'm just saying be
I'm just
safe.
kidding.
Like, be
I'm just kidding.
proactive. Make sure you know where all your emergency exits are.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying. I don't know. All right, guys.
Use
Thank
as a
you
flotation
again.
device.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Again, stay tuned for Jeff's video. He'll have a little more in-depth look at what we're doing to my garage. I will try to keep up with the transformation, because I am not stopping here. I plan on getting it going and getting it going quickly, so that I can, yes, get back to more consistent videos. You guys, it's become a chore for me, and I don't like that feeling, because I love detailing, I love videos, I love doing what I do. So thank you guys again for being with me, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.